between the Miami Dolphins and the Washington Commanders. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Here's Gibson to start the drive. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3. This defense for the Dolphins, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 37. A give up the middle to Gibson. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Howell. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A good pickup there of 20 yards. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Johnson. And the ball is knocked out. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. Accelerating, and off he goes. And a big return will get him all the way down to the 35. So the turnover forced, and a wonderful job on a big return.
And how about the convoy that got created to help him get all the way back upfield? I mean, that's the part that people miss on. That's practice. That's worked on. It doesn't just happen in a game and everyone rallies. They discuss it prior to, and everyone knows their role when they create a turnover like that.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Play action. Now it's Tua.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
picked off by Cole Holcomb. And the Commanders are going to take over here up near the 40. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football. Because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. With a play fake, and now here's how to throw it. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Ron Thornhill. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Looking to pass. Tua. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
Yeah, and the next-gen stats showing that at an even 57 yards through the air. And the kick makes it through, but flags come flying in as well. It appears we're going to get a roughing call tacked on. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. First and 10 here for Hal and the Commanders at their 25-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Against a team coming off a win just as your team did the previous week, you talk about being physical all game long. Sometimes being physical is just being on the spot and helping force the incompletion.
Howell throwing on 3rd down here. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Here's Hill on the return. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive.
They are back to 500 on the year, got the win last weekend, and it's one that kept their playoff hopes alive.
And if you do have those hopes, 500 is not where you want to be at this point of the year. Now, we know they've battled through some rough patches this season, so it now comes down to how they're going to finish. Not out of it. Can't afford any more missteps, though.
From the 44, Tua.
And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got one touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on third down here. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
On fourth down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
Out there set ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they came into play here off 2 straight victories. Are back to 500 on the year. But, Charles, is this little mini run coming too late to salvage their season?
Well, they definitely dug themselves a hole that leaves them needing to play almost perfect football from here on out. But I do believe they think that they've got this thing turned around.
And it's intercepted.
Brandon Jones picking it off.
And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
10 cycles.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Tua sets up to pass it. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Montez Sweat make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. And the first play will be a field goal try. Kicking into a headwind here in the second quarter. And this one is right down Broadway. And the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
It's a first down Washington on a pickup of 18. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural.
And it'll be intercepted.
Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
A feather in the cap for the defender, picking off one of the league's better quarterbacks so far this season, and add another feather in the cap for the coaches too. Excellent game plan, and they had their guys aware of his ability to roll out and how to defend against it.
Ready.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive.
And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness.
And the Commanders are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half, because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Now the defense, they get to Howell. He'll go down here.
And the defense coming through on 3rd down. A loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Point after here coming up. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but well, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. They'll throw on first down. Here's Howell. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Now they go play action with Howell. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. From the gun, it's Tua. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. So that potentially an important takeaway here in this second quarter.
Because what it does is give their offense a chance to put a drive together. They've got nothing on the scoreboard so far, so you have to think that they need something before the break. And now they have an opportunity.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Okay, ready?
To throw on 2nd and 6. Tua. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. 3rd and 1, and Tua wants to throw it. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Jamin Davis. And the Commanders are going to have it here just past the 25. That's now a 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing. Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Play action. It's Howell.
Flushed out right. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down.
Well, you know me, whether you need it or not, I'm going to give a little unsolicited advice. Just throw it downfield out of the pocket, only if you're absolutely sure. Otherwise, use your running ability and try and get those yards a safer way.
On 2nd and 10. Howell looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Robinson.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
So here we go, 4th down. Howell.
This one complete to Curtis Samuel.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts,
as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart, even for... And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll run with Gibson. And he will take it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Antonio Gibson, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Commanders get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. The extra point by Sly is up and good, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone.
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone.
So a turnover there on the kickoff. And don't look now, but that just made things a little more interesting.
Very interesting, because when you're trailing in a game, these are mistakes that you pray for. You just went down.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line.
Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout,
as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. The slot man in motion right. Throwing on 2nd and long.
Howell.
And now here is another interception.
Brandon Jones picking it off. And the Dolphins are going to take over at their own 11-yard line.
Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team, because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that...
And my goodness, another interception.
And the Commanders are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me, because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years, but here we go. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just...
He's got a man, complete.
He's going to be brought down there in the field of play, and the clock will run, no timeouts. They will not have the chance to bring out the field goal unit.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better.
And now here's another interception.
And the Commanders will take over here at their own 14-yard line.
Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the second half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
First down, Howell to throw.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15.
Now Howell.
It's complete to Robinson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a first down.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. In this case, he picks up a first down.
Oh, Howell loses it.
Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
On 2nd and 9, Howell. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there with touchdown number 12 on the year.
And the Commanders are back within a score.
A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now let's see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped.
The pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. They're going deep for Hill. They've got his man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw caught by his receiver, Hill. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 32-yard line. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great effort there. 32 yards. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Point after try forthcoming. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Howell. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
Now he'll look to throw it. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up 4th. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington.
They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that. But the rushing game, almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents. An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hands it off out of the gun. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Let's go now. John, 17.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll get it down here to the 43. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And incomplete here to bring up 4th down as the rookie couldn't haul it in. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down.
And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs.
And I am not sure, partner, there what the mindset was to go for it. I don't know.
And some teams just feel that possession is the key to everything. They just want to have the football in their hands. No matter how it goes to the other team, they just don't trust doing that. So they say, let's go for it and try and finish it ourselves.
Faking the handoff. Howell.
And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
Right, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
They'll go play action. Howell.
He sets to fire deep.
And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
And Howell will throw it. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Foul to the air on 1st and 10.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson.
And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 29.
They'll run with Gibson.
And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23.
Powell throwing on 1st down here.
That's going to be caught. Touchdown.
Jahan Dotson.
23 yards for the touchdown.
And the Commanders have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter.
Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he tries to keep the legs churning, but he's going to be stopped behind the line.
On 2nd and 11 now.
Tua, and that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back because your friend owed momentum. He's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what?
And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Montez Sweat getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Here's Jamie Gillen now
as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And take it right at the 35. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return.
And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Juan Thornhill. And the Dolphins force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he had won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about 1 game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. So the offense a little antsy. The flag comes out and a 5-yard penalty. The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6. Going to the air. Tagovailoa.
Quick slant. Tyreek Hill with it.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill. He scored on a punt return, and now he's scored through the air.
And the Dolphins use the big play to extend their fourth quarter lead.
And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
And he went all the way into the end zone. Extra point up and through. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A good pickup there, 21 yards. A good start there on this fourth quarter drive. They need more of what we just saw.
Down a couple of scores. They're still tied, all right? It's not like, they're totally out of it, but they have to score quickly, and they're going to need some big-time plays, chunk plays, explosive plays. They need yardage on each snap.
Slings this deep from McLaurin. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
With a play fake, and now here's how to throw it. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. They always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
But Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10.
On first down, Howell.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Johnson.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, as far as plays go, there's nothing to write home about on that one because that one gets some negative yardage. But if you do want to find a positive, he found a way to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On 2nd and goal.
Powell.
And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal.
Powell, 3rd and goal. He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders.
A great play there with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game.
And the Commanders have got it back to within a score. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
An extra point by Sly is up and good.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. You're in the 4th quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or do you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts at early's opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy.
I have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground.
Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts.
It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. To throw is Tua. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
Tua on 4th down.
He is going to find Hill here.
And he will have a Dolphins first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on 4th. Attack.
Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout
as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Here we go, set. Drill, 52.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football. I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
Now Tagovailoa.
Throw over the middle, going to be caught here by Mo Alley-Cox. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the first. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for Miami. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And I tell you what, I can't remember a defensive performance as good as this one. They seemingly forced turnover after turnover after turnover every time you turned around.
Yeah, you just keep going with it, can't you? After turnover. As this game unfolded, they were doing all the dictating, right? They told the offense exactly how it was going to go down today. So you saw them deflate with every series, didn't you? Every time they ran onto the field, it was slower and slower to get to the football because they just felt like if we go out there, we're just going to turn it over anyway. So it was really, really a stellar performance.
So for Miami, they move back over 500 at 7-6. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Commanders, it's a potentially fatal blow to their playoff chances as they drop to 6-7 on the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.
set.